I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Raiko, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Raiko. I am the guardian of a secret library, and I stream mainly variety.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. When did you get started as a streamer?
Way back, I actually started, but then I took a really big break because high school was a thing back then.
Stupid school. Always getting in the way of things.
Yeah, all the school things.
Yes.
It was a lot.
Yes.
And recently, I got back a few months ago.
Yeah. Just too much. The call was too much for you to stay away.
Well, in high school, it was for us pretty important to focus on the good grades, because to get in order in college, you need those good grades, or otherwise they will not take you in.
Right.
So I was mainly focusing on that, and once I got in college, I was like, all right, let's go back in.
I'm done. I'm in college. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good now.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, and I'm glad you're able to share your talents with us.
Well, talents.
Yeah, well, it's true though. I mean, being able to communicate and entertain people is a talent. And was this something you wanted to do for a while? Is entertain folks?
Well, right now I am into a study course for marketing. But after this year, since I'm now a exam student, I'm in my last year, I am going into the entertainment industry for journalism.
Oh.
So it's going to be a really fun ride. And I hope that I learn much more about the internet through those studies as well, to make sure that everything is perfect.
Oh my, you're going into journalism.
Yes.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with it. I know it's so much different.
Thank you so much.
The media in general has changed so much since when I started in the Stone Age, when it was all just rocks being hit together. But so what type of journalism do you want to do?
Well, I was first thinking of doing crime journalism, and that was mainly because I was in contact with somebody who does that type of work.
Yeah.
However, since my love for books have become so big, I can go with my journalism studies also to be an editor at a publishing
company,
publishing house. So that would be also really cool. So that I would be in contact with different authors, but also with the marketing and with the graphic designers and everything. So I'm basically the head of the book, and I would love that.
That would be cool, actually. Will you be doing interviews with the authors as you're doing it?
Not only that, but I would also look into their scriptures and take notes about what could be improved on or what they could change. And I would be then also in contact with the marketing for hosting interviews, for example, or readings and signings. So I'm basically the head of how the book turns out.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that for you. That should be a lot of fun. That really should be a lot of fun.
I hope so too.
Yeah, you'll get to meet a lot of different folks, and so many people. I've interviewed lots of authors in the past, from sports folks to fiction authors to but anybody who's written down something in a book, and they're all so different. Kind of like VTubers. VTubers are all different. They all got different reasons for doing it. But once you peel back the layer, the first layer of authors just wanting to get their books out, you get some really interesting stories.
Yeah, indeed, I agree with that as well.
Yeah. So with this, what are you looking forward to as far as types of of books and authors that you'll be doing this for? True crime, not crime novels, that type of thing?
Ooh, well, as much as I'm into true crime, I absolutely love young adult books that focus on LGBT things.
Hmm.
I love reading stories about that and how complicated it can be to live like with that, especially in different kind of cultures
Oh
that
yeah,
I'm not so much known for.
right.
Because my culture is very white, you know.
Mm,
So whenever I'm reading a book by an author of color, I'm always so much in love with the book,
mm,
pure because I see different representation than the basic white person, you know.
right, right. Well, again, that's a lot of that is it's how you grew up and the culture that you're in. Because as you said, there are countries that folks who are in with the LBGT plus um, group are persecuted constantly and horribly and treated
Hmm.
disgustingly bad. And then you've got some like the U.S. where it's depending on where you're at in the United States and what you're
Yeah.
trying to do. That's not a topic that you can just get done in 20 seconds.
No, it's also very heavy to read though sometimes.
Yeah,
Um, s- but I do love to see how different cultures can impact somebody's like life when it comes to them being a bit different than your standard normal
mm,
straightness, I guess.
yeah, yeah. I call myself about as vanilla as you could possibly get when it comes to stuff
And
like
that
that.
is totally fine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, somebody's got to be.
True.
I'm maybe the last one left by the time I'm old, but you know what? Whatever people want to do is fine by me. I'm not I'm not worried about that. The Would you rather be uh, working with a book that is a novel or a almost autobiographical?
Ooh. Hmm. I do love graphical things lately.
Uh-huh.
I do think they're quite interesting to read as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Right.
Um, but if I have to, as an editor view, probably just regular novels
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like that's also a little bit less work since you don't have to be in contact with an artist that has to sketch the pages over and
Right.
over again, and then you have to like it, but also the author has to like it, you know?
Right.
And it's
Right.
much more communication that might be difficult in the
Yeah.
first round.
Yeah.
But maybe once I get more advanced, probably could give it a try.
Yes. Oh, I got it. I got it. You said advanced. I love that, by the way. I'm not making fun. I'm just admiring. Believe me, that sounds so amazing to me. Being Mister Plain Midwest U.S. voice. That's a nice spice to add to it. But really, there's so many different things that you could be doing. I mean, you could in that you could end up with like a technical book or a how-to book or something along those lines. Would you rather
Hmm.
be editing and working with a fictional book or a non-fictional book?
Um, Probably fictional. Yeah, I love diving into fantasies.
Yeah, because people have created their own worlds and
Yeah,
boy, that you really have to
like
get your. Go
so
ahead.
much time gets like put into the world building and everything, and I love that so much.
Mm.
Like, give me more of that, please.
So, with all of this, and given the fact that you're going through the journalism type of thing, when's your book coming out?
Well, I am writing it.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
But I'm still in the first draft, so it might take a long while actually.
I'm not going to ask you what it's about. We'll just wait until it gets there. But um,
Well, it's a sci-fi sapphic. That's all I can tell.
hey, there you go. I like science fiction a lot. Actually, I don't know if I told a lot of people this, but I've got like 10 different short stories bounding around in my head I would like to put down on paper one day, or at least print out on the
Just do it.
computer. But
You should do
every time I start, I get distracted by like
I
life,
feel that. I feel that.
stupid life
You're like
getting in the
ready
way.
to write, and then just nothing comes out because something else just all of a sudden pops up. Like, oh, I have to do this. I
Yeah.
forgot, and then you stand up and go do something else.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, some people call it excuses. I call it reasons. Okay. It's completely
yeah,
different.
indeed, indeed. I'm not procrastinating at all.
So, was this something that you kind of wanted to do early on, when you were younger? You wanted to do the writing, the journalism type of thing?
Oh, I really wanted to be a writer when I was 12. I had like a Wattpad account
Mm.
writing One Direction fan fictions, like
Oh,
your typical 12-year-old.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
They
had,
were not great, but
yeah,
you
but
got to start somewhere.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure they were well written.
Oh, no, 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 not at all. I probably made the most basic sentences like, she is walking to the store. There is Harry. She likes Harry. That kind of sentences.
Well, there's plenty of books and movies that are put out that sound like that too,
Oh, true.
especially if you end up.
Yeah.
There's some books that just shouldn't be audiobooks. It just
There's just some books that shouldn't be out there in general, but hey, everyone has their own taste.
my wife was big on the Twilight series of
Oh,
movies.
we don't judge the Twilight series. That is a classic at this point.
Oh, but she got the audiobook version,
Hmm.
and we were out for a ride, and she's playing it in the car, and it sounds like Winona Ryder on a bad day. It was so bad. I wanted to wreck the car.
It could also be just the person who was voicing it,
Yeah, I
Like a
know.
great voice actor makes the biggest difference.
Oh, well, great voice actors are always tough to find.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Yeah. Except now people are getting a much more bigger chance because of this particular medium to do a lot of things.
Hmm.
Um, so why did you get started? And what was it for you that drew VTubing to you?
So for me, I think I started to know about Iron Mouse like a year ago, and I
Hmm.
was like super interested into why people would watch something like that.
Hmm.
But it's really about the personality that you bring out, like the character design, amazing,
Hmm. Yeah.
great. But like you can be so creative with this kind of medium
Hmm.
instead of just being a face cam streamer.
Yeah.
And since my own insecurity started to get a little bit in the way,
Uh,
I was like, you know what? I'm going to bring out my original character from back when I was 16 and just dump her into a VTubing thing.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's worked.
Yeah, it has
It,
worked, and I'm having such a lovely time.
it's great to see that too. That someone gets into it and then starts enjoying themselves right away. It hasn't become overbearing for you at all, right? So far?
No, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I love doing what I'm doing, and I love seeing new people come in and like joining me in a few games, and it's so nice
Yeah.
seeing and making new friends.
Yeah. Is this type of outgoing you the same type of you that is off the internet, or is it a little different? Are you a little more open on the net?
I'm I feel like I'm open in general.
Mm.
I do, however, still of course have my own little troubles in real life, but I think I'm more excited on the internet than in real life because I'm more at home.
Yeah.
But once you get me into a place that I absolutely love, I would go crazy. I would yell, scream, be a toddler.
Yes. Yes, I still do, and I'm much, much older than you. And like, oh,
Like bring me to a museum. I would love that. I would be
yeah,
just there like, oh my god, look at this. Look how cool this is. It's like 1,000 years old.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that gets me too. And I imagine a library, huh?
don't get me to bookstores or libraries. I would
Mm.
come in depth back.
Oh,
Trust me.
when my wife and I, there's a large bookstore about 60 miles south of us, and
Mm-hmm.
when my wife Misty and I go there, we schedule like 3 hours just to walk through it because it's. I mean, I don't even. It
I'm
could.
not that bad.
Oh, it could be topics that I don't even care about. But it's like, oh, all these books and magazines and things. And I may not even come
Yeah.
out ever buying anything because they do cost money. But I will. I just enjoy being in that atmosphere. But
Oh, true.
what about old books for you? Do you find the same for old books?
Um, what describes old for you?
Well, one that's been out for, several decades.
So, like the Odyssey,
Why?
because I'm very much into Greek mythology lately,
Now that's an
and
old book.
I'm reading the Odyssey right now, and I'm enjoying it so much.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's amazing that something like that has lasted that long.
true. I love that people preserve books. It's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, and you can preserve it on the internet very easily, and you can preserve it just by reprinting it, as long as you're not stealing it and using it for something else.
True
Yes,
that, yes.
yeah, that can happen real easy. So let me give you a little scenario here. Let's say
Hmm.
you find yourself an out of the way bookstore one
Hmm.
day, and you go in and you find a book that you're interested in. You go up and pay whatever a used book is these days, and you open it up and you see it's a first edition. Does that mean anything to you?
I I would scream. I would be like, "Oh my God, I'm special." Because I already feel special when I find a signed edition, you know?
Yeah,
I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
no way." And I can brag about it. I'm just like, "Look what I got."
yeah.
Yeah, your book doesn't have that, huh? Yeah, yeah.
Your book's
I totally
terrible.
did not pay like extra $50 for it. Don't worry about it.
Well, you can find that every once in a while in those used bookstores. You can get all sorts of things in there. I found.
Sadly, we don't really have used bookstores here.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, sadly not.
Yeah.
We also kind of lack in the little library things
Mm,
that is very popular, where you just see a random like box with
yeah.
books in there in somebody's yard, and you
Yeah.
can just take a book and then put a book in there. Yeah, we
Yeah.
lack of those as well.
Yeah.
So my only option is the internet,
Mm,
Vinted, or the usual bookstore.
yeah. Well, I mean, you could. We have used bookstores over here in the U.S. kind of pop up here and there. They don't last. They don't tend
Oh,
to last very long.
I've
Um.
been only to the US once, and that
Mm.
was just to go to Barnes and Noble. I had to experience it. I came out $300 in debt. I'm not gonna lie. I, you guys have so many special editions that we do not have. I had to have them.
They weren't all One Direction books, were they?
No, no, no. They were all like fantasy books,
Right.
and I don't even know anymore.
So
Too many.
if I was to say ask you this question, and I'm going to, what is the book that you want that you don't have?
Oh, book that I want that I don't have
Yes.
yet. Oh my God. Can I browse for a moment?
Yes. I heard the word
I
yet
I
there.
need I need to like scroll through my whole my wish list, you know. And it's let me see how many books there is now at this moment.
Oh my gosh.
Right now there are 117 books in my wish list.
Oh.
Whoopsie.
Most people won't read that many in their life,
Whoopsie.
but so you have
I read about 50 a day. Not 50 a day, 50 a year. I'm sorry. If I
50 a
read 50 a
day?
day, oh my God, I would be a goddess.
So what model computer are you?
I speed read everything, just
Yes.
scroll over everything.
Yes. Just look at one letter per
But,
page. As you
To answer your question, Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews has been catching my attention. It's a horror LGBT book, and it just seemed very cool. And the author is very active on Twitter and is like, yo, look at this. We got now
Oh,
a special edition. And I'm like, oh, I need that. I
uh,
need that in my life.
so have you been able to even before you've gotten in to the jobs in the industry, have you been able to interact with these authors a little bit online?
Well, I'm actually also a book reviewer, so
Oh,
I do get in touch with indie authors, and
mm,
I am very close now with one of those authors,
mm,
and I really, really recommend reading their book. It touched me, and seeing him being very touched
mm-hmm,
as well about my review and how much I liked it. It's the You've Got the Map Backwards by Brian Isobiaga.
mm,
And it's about like two girls going through like very, very tough times. Like one has a drinking problem and is like having troubles with mental health, and the other one is like trying to get her anxiety under control while going through her second year of college.
oh
And
my.
they know each other since they were young, and it's like a lot of complicated things. It was a very nice book to read.
Oh man, that sounds like a recipe for disaster between.
It's a recipe for get ready for your napkins.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, by disaster, I mean literally everything could happen at that point.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
I can tell you myself, in even back in the '80s when I was in that age, um, people were going through stuff like that in college and trying to get themselves together and things falling apart and coming together for them faster than they could even realize. Um, and for someone to be able to take that and encapsulate it and write it down and project it, that's a lot of talent.
Yeah, indeed.
Wow.
Indeed.
Yeah. And
I also am glad that the topic of mental health in general is getting now more into the books to not make it more of a taboo anymore.
mhm.
Because, to be honest, even 10 years ago, it was still very much of a taboo to even talk about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And in some places, it still actually is. But, people are getting more open minded lately. So that's at least good. In some places.
Yeah. I normally stay away from politics, but I will say that in some places is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. But the you add that to the LBGTQ plus folks and the mental
Hmm.
health, and you're talking
Hmm.
about two things that maybe 20 years ago nobody wrote about, and
Yeah.
and that is something that at least folks are now, I hope, trying to understand, or at least now, understand is not the right word. Acknowledge anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am just glad there is now a medium that represents everyone, actually.
yeah.
It's really nice to see like yourself being represented through a book.
Hmm.
Like my best friend, they are arrow A's, so they don't have sexual or romantic attraction to anyone.
Right.
And when a book came out about a character who is exactly that, they were so in love with that book because they were like, I can see myself in this situation.
Mm.
And I feel like everyone deserves that.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
it's empathy, and I've never thought of it. I never thought of it that way because I'm always trying to push people to have empathy for other people's situations, and even I have to remind myself about that a lot. But to think of yourself as so far outside that you can't empathize with anything because no one has, because you don't match it. That's a different way to look at things. I never thought about that at all. You're making me think, and my head hurts.
I'm sorry. It's part of being a librarian, you
And
know?
well, I tell you, it's wonderful actually, and you could hear in your voice how much you appreciate and enjoy these things. Um, when you are online, what can I
Mhm.
expect from a stream from you? What are you usually doing?
Very, very cozy vibes.
Mm,
I'm so addicted right now at Sky, the Children of Light.
mm,
It's so cozy. It's so addicting. Oh
mm,
my God. I'm online like daily for hours and just talking to people.
mm.
and just it's so great.
Okay, what
But
what draws
I've been
you?
streaming that for a while.
What draws that to you? I've heard I've heard about it, but I haven't seen anybody play it yet. What's it about?
It's like an MMO, but at first you go like through a story, and the story is more about like you being a child of light and trying to revive your world
Mm,
back into the beautiful world it was.
mm,
So you're like trying to find spirits and help them out to get their way to be being reborn and stuff like that. I definitely recommend it for people who enjoy Journey,
mm.
since it's the same developers technically.
Oh, neat, neat. And
And I believe Sky was supposed to be Journey too, but then they decided that they wanted to make a game that brings people together.
mm,
So there's a lot of segments where you need multiple people to get through,
right,
and it's really fun, and you meet new people that way.
cool, excellent, excellent. That sounds like it'd be great for a stream.
Yeah, it's really fun because your viewers can just join in whenever they want,
Hmm.
and you can just hang out together and make your community a bit more, tight.
Mm.
Like
Oh
enjoy
yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean, you would get to know each other pretty quickly in a game like that, I would think.
Oh yes, I love talking with everyone in there. And whenever they're like, "Oh, can I join in?" I'm like, of course, come
Mm,
join the adventure."
yeah. Now people can't come in there and make mischief, can they?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Well, we did have the days of mischief, but
Yeah.
that was an event, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. It was an event. You don't want people coming in and messing things up and doing it on
No,
purpose.
nobody can do that.
That
It's hard to do in that game.
that's good because you can do it in life. It's
There
almost
there's
too
no
easy.
griefing.
Doing it in life is bad enough, but doing it for something like that is also bad. Um.
Hmm.
So other than that game, what do you usually stream?
On Wednesdays I do Wicked Wednesdays,
Mm.
so I'm doing like horror games and pushing myself through a lot of scary things.
Yeah. Is there a lot of
This year
screaming
we are
involved?
a lot of screams and terror. This year I already finished like 6 horror games, so
Oh,
yeah.
that's painful.
Ah, my heart sometimes.
That'd be my voice from screaming and crying.
The thing is, like at the first hour, I'm like absolutely terrified, right?
Hmm.
And then in the last hour of the game, I'm like, yeah, fight me, come on. I'm not no more little baby that I was like 2 hours ago.
They found the inner warrior, and now they will pay.
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
That's great. That's great. Um, it really does sound like that you are you've really embraced this, and it's kind of embraced you at the same time. Am I getting the right vibe there?
I think so. Yeah, I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I just love being Raiko.
And for it to be for Raiko to be someone that it has been in the back of your mind for a while, sometimes the front of your mind, and it realize that people are coming back for you, Raiko. How
Hmm.
does that feel?
It feels special. I I sometimes cannot imagine that people choose me over like the bigger streamers,
Mhm.
since I'm still quite small. Um, like there's this one person that I really really appreciate because they give so much support, and I don't know if I would have like done it without them.
Mhm.
They give me so much strength. So yeah.
Well, it's it's fulfilling, and
Yeah, indeed.
almost validating for to get that type of feedback, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad with the people I have met
Mm.
and who have stayed and like actually has given me a chance to improve. So yeah, I'm very, very glad.
It's 20 years ago, this wouldn't have been an option. It would have you might have been able to go on and chat with people on the net, maybe by text, um, that type of
Oh,
thing.
you remember MSN?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
I tell you,
Oh.
let me give you an idea of me and the internet. My regular off of this show email is Netscape.net.
Oh no, I don't know that.
Yeah, that's before everything. It got
Nah, I grew up with like with MSN
mm,
and like these game sites
yeah,
that still had that plugin and
and
everything.
the
Oh, I
Flash,
love playing those.
those Flash
Yeah,
games that are
Flash. That's Flash.
yeah,
Flash, indeed,
yeah,
indeed.
that
I feel like that gave me the inner gamer that I am now.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
those games.
Some of those were so innovative and just such a hook that you could play it for hours and get in trouble at work or school.
Yeah, for school, indeed.
Very, very easily. But have you always been somebody who wanted to, you know, entertain folks? Be kind of in front of a crowd a little bit?
Well, my mom described me as the clown of the class, so
Mm.
maybe.
When your mom says
Yeah, my mom always said that because I was always a joker,
yeah.
and I just loved like making people laugh when I was younger.
Mm.
Um, I was about like maybe till the year 6 or something. I
Yeah.
always had like the funkiest outfits on back then, so maybe that was the reason why I was the clown. My coordination with fashion was maybe just not there.
You
She
had,
would just let me wear whatever I want, so she didn't really mind.
yeah, my wife usually doesn't let me pick out my own clothes.
Oh,
If I had
you
my way, it
know,
would just be gray. We just go to work in gray.
it's just gray.
Yes. I don't want to choose
Nah.
colors, huh? Don't make me choose colors. But
To be
I,
honest, as much as I love colors, I feel like I look horrid in clothes with colors on them, so I always do standard black.
well,
Maybe with like a little bit of pink there or a little bit of purple, you know?
that's
But just black.
is that? Are you a gothic person? Are you a goth?
I I I'm okay, so when I was 12,
Uh
I found out about the scene kids.
huh.
Oh boy. Oh boy. If I look back on my Facebook and no. As much as I loved myself back then, I was very confident for doing that, okay?
Yes.
But I feel like the gothic side was more of a better choice than the scene kids side.
Yes.
I still love seeing scene kids though.
Yeah.
Like they've been reviving, they've been popping up again.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. But
Yeah.
no, I grew up with like a goth mother, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I turned out to be more of a goth.
that's good. Sisters of Mercy for life. That's all I can say.
Yes, yes.
I was an '80s goth listener
Ooh,
quite a bit, so
let's go.
we are old school when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I knew I liked you for a
Yeah.
reason. But actually,
Yes.
it's an absolute joy talking with you because it's obvious that you're enjoying yourself, and
Oh yeah.
and you're comfortable with it too. It seems like you're really comfortable with it. And was it easy for you to settle in and be comfortable with VTubing?
I believe with VTubing definitely because I'm not showing my face at all and I'm just like being myself and nobody can judge me on how I look or anything. So I guess that's a really good point when you're just still a little bit insecure. But if people who knew me for a much longer time on my channel, they definitely have seen me. I used to be a face cam streamer, so yeah.
Yeah, folks.
I think I did get more comfortable with myself though throughout VTubing, definitely.
Did that carry over to real life?
The insecurities?
No, the ability to open up and talk with people quickly.
Oh no. I would still push my partner into the coffee shop and be like, I want this. Order this for me, please.
Well,
can you talk to this person?
Yes.
Oh, they look so cool. Can you say that they look cool for me, please?
Yes, don't use my name. Just point in the general direction. Like
Yeah, just point at me. You know, and say that I like them.
You are an absolute delight to talk to. I really appreciate you coming on. And we'll have to do it again, please, sometime soon. We're going to have all of the links we've been able to find for Raiko on the description for this interview. Check out what Raiko's got going on. Obviously, you're in a really good place for yourself right now, and I hope it does nothing but continue to be that way for you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.